Responding to a possible domestic violence call near a grocery store in MOAB about 140 miles southeast of Provo, our primary officer notices a white Ford Transit van going about 45 miles in a 15-mile-per-hour speed zone. After turning on his lights to pull over the vehicle, the van swerves and strikes the curb before coming to a complete stop. The officer, as he approaches, notices the passenger is in visible distress and has the passenger step out of the vehicle to separate from the driver.
You're crying.
I'm sorry, we've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues.
It was a long day. We were camping yesterday, and camping got stuff, flies and stuff. I'm sorry I hit the bump there.
I was distracting him from driving. I'm sorry.
Can I get you to step out of the vehicle for me, man?
Yeah.
Just hang tight right there. Do you mind if I take your keys and just put them on your hood?
You got it, buddy.
The passenger, Gabby Petito, explains that she was cleaning the back of the van when she apparently lashed out at the driver, Laundrie. She expresses that she was stressed because of the amount of work that she had been doing.
You want to tell me what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, some days I have really bad OCD, and
okay.
I was just cleaning and straightening up the back of the van before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean, because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I just get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him, I just like, I guess my vibe is like, I hear him be like in a bad mood. And I was just saying, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I've just been really stressed. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I used to work at an organic juice bar, but I just quit my job.
Okay.
I was a nutritionist. That's
okay.
That was my
That's
job.
cool.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country. And I'm trying to start a blog. I just have a blog and stuff. So I've been building my website. So I've just been really stressed. And he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it. So that's kind of been like a, I don't know, he's like down there. I don't know. We've just been fighting all morning. And he wouldn't let me in the car before. And then
Why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because of your OCD?
He told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm perfectly calm. I'm calm all the time. And he really stresses me out. And this is a rough morning.
Well, why don't we do this?
While interviewing Gabby, a secondary officer arrives on scene, and the primary officer puts Gabby in the back seat of his shop to allow her the opportunity to decompress. Meanwhile, the secondary officer approaches and begins to interview Laundrie.
How's it going?
How are we doing?
Good. Hey, we got a call about a male hitting a female and the two of them getting in this vehicle and taking off.
So I don't want to try and defend myself by saying anything here, but I pushed her away. She gets really worked up, and when she does, she swings, and she had her cell phone in her hand. So I was just trying to push her away. But Gabrielle, you're talking about fiance, right?
What's that?
You talked to Gabrielle, right?
Yeah, I just spoke to her.
Yeah.
So, you want to do me a favor? Let's go ahead and get you to step out of the vehicle, alrighty? Come on over here. You're not in any trouble right now. So, tell me what's going on.
She just gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her. So, like, I locked the car and I walked away from her. What happened this morning is that she's trying to start up like her own little website blog and everything. So I give her time, and we really had a nice morning, if anything. But she just got worked up because we were trying to get going and get our day going because we want to go like arches before this stuff every time.
Okay. You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
She had her cell phone in her hand. That's why I was pushing her away, because she wanted me. I locked the keys so I could walk away. I said, let's just take a breather and let's not, go anywhere. Let's just calm down for a minute because she was getting a little worked up. And then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys from me, so I got in the way. I was just trying to. I know I shouldn't push, but I was just trying to push her away to go. Let's just take a minute, step back, and breathe. And she got me with her phone.
Can I see your hand? Oh, you got a mark right here.
Oh, that's from a wire.
That's from a wire?
Yeah.
You want to tell me about hitting that curb?
Hitting the curb was her grabbing the wheel.
She grabbed the wheel?
Yeah. She said, I can't believe we're getting pulled over, and then she grabbed the wheel.
What about the speed? Did she take over the...
Take
over the pedal on you?
If I was going fast, I'm sorry. No, it's probably just the moment of, like, I'm still shaking now. The adrenaline, seeing the lights flashing up, and then her gripping the wheel. And So if I sped up, I'm sorry about that. Or if I was speeding beforehand, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it took quite a bit to catch up to you. So,
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. We're just going into the park again to get water because we have a 6-gallon water container to fill up, so we're just grabbing water for the hike.
At this point, the primary officer sits him down on the curb and begins to take down his identification information so he can read it off to dispatch. Simultaneous to this, a secondary officer is re-interviewing Gabby about the events that transpired to get a better understanding.
My name's Eric. I'm with MOAB Police. What's your name?
Gabby.
Gabby, how old are you?
I'm 22.
What happened? What's going on?
I'm just having a very stressed morning.
Yeah. Is this your husband or boyfriend?
My fiance.
Fiance? Is he a pretty good guy?
Yeah.
What happened over at Moonflower?
Well, I was just really stressed this morning trying to get a lot of work done, and I was apologizing to him. I had thrown a bunch of stuff in the bag, and all our bags are back there, and I was just apologizing. I was like, I'm sorry that I get so stressed out because I have OCD and I was just like organizing stuff, and sometimes I just have a mean attitude, but I'm not trying to be mean about straightening things up and stuff, so I was just apologizing, but I guess I said it in like a mean tone, and he got really frustrated with me, and he locked me out of the car and told me to go take a breather, but I didn't want to take a breather because I wanted to get going. We're out of water.
So it kind of made you more upset.
Yeah,
it didn't help calm you, it made you more upset.
Yeah. And,
so then what happened?
And so our goal was to come here and come refill our water.
Are you guys living out of the van right now? On travels?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just really.
So what happened after he locked you out? I told you to take a breather.
Well, he walked away to go take his own breather, but I wanted to sit in the car because all my stuff was in the car. I had none of my bags. I was working on something at the moment in the car, and he told me to just relax for a second, and I didn't want to relax, so I got really mad. And, I mean, I don't need to be mad.
Yeah, that happens. Then what happened?
And then I told him to drive and get water because I was really thirsty.
Yeah. Is there something on your cheek here? Looks like did you get hit in the face? Kind of looks like something like hit you in the face. And then over on your arm, shoulder, right here. That's new, huh? It's kind of a new mark.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Can I see the other side of your face? So, what happened here and here?
I'm not sure. It was I was just trying to get in the back of the car, and his backpack was on the back, and it got me.
So the backpack got you? So there's two people that came to us and told us that they saw him hit you. There's two people saying that they saw him punch you. We're just independent witnesses by Moonflower.
Well, to be honest, I definitely hit him first.
Where'd you hit him?
I slapped him in the face.
You slapped him first? And then just on his face?
And he kept telling me to shut up.
How many times did you slap him?
Romeo, India, Alpha.
Just a couple.
And then what? And then his reaction was to do what?
Grabbed my arm so I wouldn't slap him.
He just grabbed you?
Yeah.
Did he hit you though? I mean, it's okay if you're saying you hit him, and then I understand if he hit you, but we want to know the truth if he actually hit you.
I guess, yeah, but I hit him first.
Where did he hit you? Don't worry, just be honest.
He grabbed my face, I guess. He didn't hit me in the face, he didn't punch me in the face or anything.
Did he slap your face or what?
Well, he grabbed me with his nail, and I guess that's why it looks. I definitely have a cut right here because I can feel it when I touch it. It burns. But
okay. So has he been drinking?
no, we don't drink.
Okay. What was up with his driving? This officer said he hit a curb.
I hit him.
While you're driving?
Well, he was driving.
While he was driving, you were hitting him?
Well, not a lot, but yeah.
And that was distracting him while he's driving? Are you
Only for a second. Only because I saw the lights come on, and I kind of went stupid.
Did you already tell him all this?
I didn't get that far into it. She was hyperventilating.
She's saying that they don't drink, but at the point when you lit them up.
We don't drink or anything. I was
hitting him.
I was yelling at him, and then when you turned your lights on, I got up on the arm there's an idiot.
She's saying it was why he hit the curb. You said it was Gabby?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm really bad. His name was Gabby?
Yeah.
Okay. You okay, Gabby? Do you have medication for anxiety you take or anything?
No.
Do you take any medication for any?
I just do yoga and
Try to meditate and stuff? But you tend to have a lot of anxiety and stress?
I have a lot of anxiety.
And what's his name? Is it Brian? Is he usually pretty patient with you?
Yeah, but it just makes me upset. I know that he definitely gets frustrated with me a lot because I have a lot of anxiety and he definitely has anxiety too.
Oh, that could be a bad combo if you both have anxiety. You know, I have anxiety too, and you know, my girlfriend, my girlfriend's really, really calm, and she has a way of taking my anxiety and bringing it down. But my ex-wife, that's why she's my ex-wife, I'm just sharing, I know it's a little personal, but to help you understand, we would feed off each other's anxiety and it would spiral. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how much I loved her. It may be bad for your soul, just saying. And I'm not telling you what to do with your life, but if you know you have anxiety, look at the situations you can get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're not here to be mean to you or anything. Well, you know, there's a first time and then it usually, we'll go see what Brian's saying, but I think you've heard everything now from.
Quick question. You said you were hitting him in the arm. Did you grab the steering wheel?
No, I didn't.
You did not touch the steering wheel?
But only for like a second because I just saw the lights come on and it was more just like you're an idiot, like, you know.
But did you grab the steering wheel and like
No.
swerve or anything like that?
No. I didn't touch the steering wheel at all.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and close this door again. Do you have enough air back here, or do you want me to kick it up some more?
Do you have any water?
I will see if I can find some.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
He closes the door and inquires about water for Gabby and joins the secondary officer who has just started talking to Laundrie.
Stand in the shade. It's freaking hot.
man.
Yeah, I know the struggle. So you don't drink or anything?
No.
Okay. So you were talking to these officers, and I don't mean to butt in. I just felt kind of bad for you. Maybe even if you stand here, you'll have more shade.
I don't want to be
Right?
weirdo ducking down, but
No, I know how it is.
I have a big sombrero.
Well, from when I first got here, we were more worried about what kind of a guy you are from what we heard. But in talking to your girlfriend, it sounds to me like maybe this is not so clear cut. So, did you already give a statement to this officer?
I got this gentleman here.
Yeah.
And this gentleman noticed that you had some marks on your neck. Yeah. And she's got some marks on her too. So we're just trying to figure out what all happened. And I know you've probably already told your story. But this officer is probably going to be the one handling the whole case. Do you want to listen to what he has to say? And
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you tell him what happened, will you?
While he remarked with a third-party National Parks ranger that it sounds like Gabby was the aggressor and maybe he can interview the two witnesses who called in the incident for their side in the first place.
If you don't mind.
Start at the beginning for me, over.
Start at the beginning. Well, I don't want to go too far back, but we've been in BLM land for the past week or so, traveling around, and the flies here are pretty intense. So the flies have definitely been getting to her, and then my feet are dirty and everything. So I think that our little squabble started because we were hanging out at the coffee shop, and when we got back to the van, there was some dirt and stuff in the van, and I moved our food around. It was a little disorganized, so she gets a little.
Will you take those two? Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Do you need any water?
It's okay.
It's hot out here.
We were going to get water because we ran out, but it's okay. No, it's alright. I don't like plastic bottles. It's okay. Thank you, though. But we just had a little disagreement there. Disagreement was just that she was getting a little worked up, and I was saying, no, it's okay. Thank you so much.
It's not it's cool. That's good.
So it was just more of a disagreement, and I just wanted to.
What was the disagreement about?
It was. I wouldn't even call it disagreement. It was just that I'm dirty and I can't change being dirty. Like I got dirty feet, I got sand on my flip flops and stuff like that. It was that we were at the coffee shop for so long because we were there from 9 to 3. So yeah, there's a few little things, little relationships. I don't know if you're in a relationship, but I'm sure you're.
I've been married for over 5 years now. So.
There's a lot of little things.
Yeah, I can go.
And
I get it.
Yeah, we weren't physical before the point where I said, all right, let's just take a breather and like walk away for a minute. I'll lock the van up and I'll go for a walk this way, and you can go walk that way in the block. You know, there's that what is it called, Moonflower?
Right. Yeah.
You know, nice areas. You can go either way. It's all shaded. So let's go for a little walk and breather, come back. Because we're happy with it. I'm not upset with her. She got worked up and she had her phone in her hand and her keys and everything. And she wanted, not her keys, like her rings. She had her rings, her phone. And I was holding on to the keys because I didn't want to go anywhere. And my big fear is, I don't have my phone. I don't have my phone. So she goes off without me. With a car on. I'm on my own. So I was saying, let's just go for a walk, and she was trying to get the keys for me, so I was just going, just wait, back up, and that's when she hit me, and I didn't get, I don't want to push you, but I didn't get overtly physical. I was just trying to keep her away and not get hit, and then I got really loud, and like that's probably drew everyone's attention where I was going, you know, back up, get away, just give me a...
Okay, so you said you pushed her to create some distance, obviously, right? What happened after that? What got the scratches on your eye?
The phone.
The phone? So you pushed her and she hit you?
It wasn't like a push and she jumped on me. She was already, I don't want to, she was already swinging and I was
multiple
a lot of angles, a lot of nails, a lot of rings.
Yeah, you got 3 scratches in your neck, you got 1 on your left side of your nose, you got 1 in your face here, and you got 4 bleeding over it. So it looks like 2 hands coming in.
Do you mind lifting up your right sleeve for me? I'm curious about something.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of nails. I suppose fingernails, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about
Is
fingernails.
it bruised or tender or anything like
No.
that?
Okay. I'm fine, and I love Gabby. I hope she doesn't have too many complaints about me. I'm just, I feel bad I had to get so public. I was just trying to be loud. So listen, this is, try to make her calm down and be like, look, everyone's watching. And like, stop this.
Hang tight for me.
The primary officer walks away, then doubles back to ask Laundrie if he takes any medications.
Sure. Do you take any medications or anything like that? You don't take any medications or anything like that? Okay. Are you normally this kind of like hyper?
Do I see my heart rate up? Whenever the lights flash on, it gets your heart rate up. If I see my...
Trust me, it does me too, and I'm the one it gets me going.
You probably can say, hey buddy, whenever somebody walks up.
So, okay. She takes any medication? Yeah, do you know if she takes any?
She's crazy. No, I don't think so. No, none that I know of.
The primary officer walks back towards the shop with Gabby in it, and at this point, a third police officer is interviewing Gabby. Primary interjects to get identification information from Gabby so he can inquire with dispatch, and he proceeds to read off the wrong identifying information.
Golf, Alpha, Bravo, Romeo, India, Echo, Lima, Echo, last name, Petito, Papa, Echo, Tango, India, Charlie, Oscar.
The primary officer walks back over to Laundrie and tells him to hang tight. They proceed to chit-chat with Laundrie about this, that, and other personal life stuff. Meanwhile, the secondary officer is interviewing the independent witness.
How are you? Hey, we got this van stopped and we've separated the male and the female and we got both of their stories. Now that we're not looking for them so intensely, I was just wondering if you had a minute to just kind of repeat to me what it is exactly you saw.
No problem, sir. Yeah, so I was talking to my friend across the street near the Forest Service building, and I just noticed that this couple was sort of arguing a bit, and I wasn't staring at them, but it did catch my attention, and what I noticed is it seemed like they were sort of squabbling over a phone. I want to say that he was trying to grab her phone, and I'm not sure exactly why, and then it seemed like he had sort of blocked the one side of the van and sort of wasn't letting her in, and then the male was stepping into the driver's seat, and she was trying to get into the van, and I think he said something about why you're being so mean, something like that, and I remember she sort of hit him a few times, and it wasn't like slugs in the face, but just kind of like two kids kind of fighting. They reminded me of very mature, I don't know, children sort of fighting. But there seemed like something was off, and it seemed like a weird vibe. And eventually it seemed like she crawled into the driver's seat, sort of like got into the vehicle over his lap, sort of forced her way in, I guess. And then they were in the car, and then they just drove away. So I wasn't sure what the nature of the argument was or what. It just seems like there was some sort of disagreement and some sort of like shutting. I don't know why she would have entered through the driver's door. I thought that was strange. So I thought about calling it in, but as soon as I walked up this bar, there was another gentleman who was already calling it in, so I was like, oh, good on you. That seemed a bit off. I wasn't really sure what to do in that situation, but that's what I saw, and if there's any other specific questions, I'm happy to try to answer.
Did you ever see the male strike the female?
I would say that I think I saw maybe a push or a shove, but not like a full-on punch to the face or anything.
Was the shove was the shove or push an aggression towards her, or was it a defensive maneuver away from her, or to get her away from him?
That's a good question. It was unclear what was going on to me, but it did seem like he was. It seemed like he was trying to close off the passenger side of the vehicle and close things up. It almost seemed like he put that backpack or something on the back of the vehicle, I'm not sure. And then he was stepping in and she was out trying to get in. So maybe,
okay.
I don't, it was, the whole thing was off. And so, no, I didn't see anything that was like him chasing after her or hitting her or vice versa. There was it was kind of light and they were almost kind of laughing, and I wasn't sure if they were just joking around, to be honest, but then it got more strange as he was in the vehicle about to drive off.
But you did see her slapping him, though, it sounds like.
Yes, it was like, my memory is he was in the driver's seat, and she has the driver's door open, and she's like kind of hitting him either in the arm or maybe on the face, maybe with an open hand, like, hey, let me in, don't be a jerk, something like that.
Okay. Well, you know, your story is really, really helpful because you're an independent witness, and we've just interviewed both of them, and what you're saying is making everything make a lot of sense. So I really appreciate that I ran into you and that I was able to get your number and talk to you. So thank you very much. If we need to ask for a written statement, obviously it's voluntary, it's helpful, but at this point I don't know if we need to go that far unless you're around and super willing at this moment. I can meet you and get a statement.
Yeah, no, I live here, totally willing to do that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Maybe I'll just I can go write it down now before memory fades. Because, like I said, I was kind of just casually observing, but something did seem off, and just wanted to make sure that no one was in a bad situation. So.
Where can we find you to give you a form real quick?
The secondary officer comes back with a recording of what the two witnesses said to him and a summary of the phone call. The primary officer and the secondary officer walk away to discuss. The important facts of note at this point are that the police have ruled Gabby as the primary aggressor in this instance based off of Laundrie's testimony, the witness testimony, and even Gabby's own testimony. As a result, the officers cannot offer any discretion. This is a domestic assault, and as such, they have to cite Gabby, issue her a no-contact order, and separate the two of them for at least the evening. Laundrie has been determined to be the victim in this situation, and as such, he alone has the ability to lift the no-contact order on Gabby, as she cannot. They walk back over to Laundrie and give him the rundown of the situation and potential avenues to send them on their way.
Unfortunately, in the state of Utah, we don't have discretion on some things. Like, for example, if I pull you over for speeding and I want to give you a warning, I can do that because it's under a Class A, it's a Class B or under. If I want to give you warnings for all kinds of stuff, I can, but there's a few things I can't. When I say I, the police, I'm not in charge of this. One of the things that the state legislature doesn't give us discretion on is charges when it comes to a domestic assault. And it sounds like you guys are living together, so you meet the statute for domestic partners. And you do have injury, and both an independent witness, probably the next one we're going to talk to as well, which we haven't talked to yet, but the one we did talk to, and your own companion have made it clear that she was the primary aggressor and that she was striking you and that you received injuries. You haven't admitted to striking her, she has not admitted to you striking her, the witness did not see you strike her. So at this point, you're the victim of a domestic assault. That even if you didn't want to pursue this, we don't have a choice. The best thing we could do to not, the law says we have to charge her. It doesn't say we have to put her in jail. Okay, but it also says we have to separate, do a no contact order, and that we have to put her in jail if we cannot separate. And there's a little problem here. Is you guys live out of Florida, living in the van together. How are we supposed to separate you guys? Now, I don't want to take this small 20. What is she?
Yes, a 22-year-old.
22-year-old female in jail.
Jail.
You could definitely defend yourself against, but at the same time, we can't say because you're a male and she's a female, we can't treat this different than if you were the male hitting her. We got to treat it the same.
Yeah, no.
So she's kind of in a tough spot. So unless you have an idea about how she can not go to jail and be separated, do you have friends in town? Somewhere she can stay? Tomorrow, if you want to, it's up to you. You can
Can I go to jail?
You can't because we don't have a charge for you. Now tomorrow, if you wanted to get with her again tomorrow,
I'm gonna take your radio.
if you want to be with her again tomorrow, because it's after 5, so our office is closed, you can go to the police department, fill out a waiver to drop the no contact order, so you guys can still be together. But she's gonna have a court date online in a week or two. She's gonna have to show up for her court date online and answer. The prosecutor might drop it. They might say, for example, if you're not willing to pursue it, if that's your decision.
Anyway, I was going to say, it definitely is. I'm not going to pursue anything. She's my fiance. I love her. It's just a little squabble. I'm sorry that I had to get so public.
Stuff happens.
So I just want to get like the checklist of things I got to do to get rid of it. So
if you want her back, well, she'll get a paper with a court date. Okay?
How do I get rid of it?
Well, the court date has to be attended in order for them to decide whether they need to continue or drop it. The first is just an initial appearance to say, are you who we think you are? Yes. Do you understand the charge that's been brought against you? Yes or no? Yes or no? The answer. Do you have an attorney? Yes or no? Do you need one? And then from there, she can ask to speak with the prosecutor. The prosecutor might be contacting you and say, hey man, I know she's 110 pounds soaking wet and you're a big strong guy, and we understand you're not even wanting to pursue this, but the cops have to follow the statute. How, where, in the interest of you, of justice for you as a victim, what do you think? And they can decide to still prosecute her, or they can decide to drop it, or they can decide to give her a plea and make it kind of go away if she behaves from now on. But that still does not eliminate the first court appearance that she has to attend, which thankfully for you guys is going to be online, so you don't have. So if you're out of town, here's the thing: if you're out of town and she doesn't come into our court appearance online, they can suspend her driver's license, they can issue a warrant for her. So she needs to play ball and go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And we're a team. Me and her are a team. I'm sorry about all this. I apologize again. But so she's got her online court date just to acknowledge that she's hurt, and then she's got the one for the.
Well, there's automatically right now there is something called a no contact order in place.
Yeah,
From this point forward until tomorrow, if you wish to drop it, you have to go into the 217 East Center Street, MOAB City Police Department, and you have to ask. We'll give it to you. You want to fill out a waiver that you're requesting a waiving of the contact order, the no contact order. The no contact order means she cannot come into contact with you, she cannot talk to you, she cannot text you, she cannot go onto any premises that you're occupying, she cannot go to your vehicle. And until you drop that, or until court date, if you don't drop it, it stays in effect until midnight on the day of court. And then that gives you time to get a protective order, a long-term one if you feel like you need one, but it sounds like you don't even want this one. So tomorrow, they open at 8, you can go in the police department, you can fill out the waiver, they can remove it, then you can say, hey babe, where you at, let me pick you up, and you can pick her up. Now, we're hoping not to put her in jail, but if she doesn't have somewhere to go tonight, to be separate from you, then where are we supposed to go? I can't talk to her now.
As a result of these facts, the logistics of how to establish a no contact fall into question. It is decided that Gabby will take the van, and Laundrie will get a hotel room for the night, courtesy of a domestic victim support shelter group. Meanwhile, our secondary officer goes back to speak with Gabby.
Gabby, when you grow up and you're a full-grown man, this is what you'll drink from. Plus it's ice cold, and so I'm going to drink from it. Sorry. You'll probably never be a full-grown man.
And then you do curls with it.
Then you can do your curls. So, look, I'm going to speak to you frankly. I have a daughter almost your age, and I'm looking at you not so much like a suspect, but also as kind of a victim, in the sense that you're dealing with some struggles emotionally and mentally at your age. Probably they'll work themselves out as you get older. There's a lot of angst at your age, and I remember being your age too. And hopefully it works itself out. But the stuff you did today that contributed to this, because you both contributed to this, is as a result of your inability to cope with the anxiety and the stress that you're having. So in a way, you're kind of a victim of this. I think you would have done better if you had the skills to do better. But you don't learn skills until you learn skills. And you don't have enough life experience yet to know how to navigate everything. Like, I don't either, but I can navigate what happened. If I was in your shoes, I could handle it different because I'm 39 years old. I've been through it. But I've got a lot of life lessons to learn still because I'm like my dad and my grandpas, they know stuff I don't know, right? They can do stuff I don't know. So in a way, I'm just letting you know that we sympathize with you. But based on what you've said and based on what our witnesses said, and even based on what your fiance has mentioned, trying his very hardest not to have you in any trouble, he does have marks on him that witnesses say were caused by you slapping him. And that even you say you slapped him and were aggressing him first. And I don't have anyone saying that he actually punched you aggressively. It sounds like it was shoving in a manner that was probably more consistent with trying to prevent you from entering the van or to get space from you, not to assail you, if that makes sense. So if the tables were turned and he was beating on you and you were shoving him, of course we're going to look at it like, oh, of course she's defending herself to get away from this guy. Well, we're kind of looking at it the same way with him, and we have to treat both fair, even if he's a bigger male and you're a smaller female. The law doesn't say, hey, Officer Pratt and Officer Robbins, you can treat people different based on gender under the same, so we can't. Even if it makes no sense that because you probably could not physically destroy this man the way that he could if he attacked you, we can't treat you different, okay? So all that long-windedness I'm giving you right now is leading up to the fact that if I pull someone over for speeding, I have the right to give them a warning. I have something called officer discretion. But in the legislature in Utah, they have made a law that if we have a domestic assault, they don't trust the police to make good decisions because too many cops have made bad decisions. So they say, we're not going to give you discretion. We're going to write a law that says if you have a domestic assault, whether it's male on female or female on male, whoever the primary aggressor is has to be charged. No choice. You don't get to give them a warning. It doesn't even matter if they're barely hurt at all and the guy doesn't want to press charges or the girl doesn't want to press charges. We don't have a choice. We literally have no choice. He does not want to press charges. He says you guys are a team. He says you're his fiance. He says he loves you. He says he doesn't want anything to happen. But we're explaining to him that we don't have any choice in this. So we're trying to get a local victims advocacy group called Seek Haven to get him a hotel for the night so that you can have the van, because they won't give you the hotel because you're the one who is the primary aggressor. So they're going to consider him the victim. So they're going to get him a hotel. So he wants you so that you don't have to go to jail, because the only thing we can do is take you to jail. He says, well, so she doesn't have to go to jail, then I will accept Seek Haven's help if they'll give me a hotel, and then she can have the van so she doesn't have to go to jail. She can just have a ticket. When you get the ticket, it's going to give you a phone number to call, and they're going to give you a court date, and that court date will probably be online.
So I have to come back to Utah?
No, it'll be online.
Oh.
You have a smartphone?
Yeah.
So you can. I go to court. You're okay.
Sorry, I've never heard of this. I didn't know
Yeah.
this was in
When
Utah.
COVID happened, they switched all the court from in person to online. So when I go to court now,
I have a ticket for hitting the curb or something, please, because we're okay. Like, where does it?
I understand, but we don't have any, like. Listen, if I had any discretion in this, I would separate you guys for the day and just give you warnings to stop hitting each other. But I lawfully don't have discretion here. I don't have any.
Because somebody said something, like a witness said something.
There's two witnesses, and then there's what you said and what he said, and guess what? It all matches nicely that you were the primary aggressor, and that the injuries he has were caused by your aggression towards him. Even if he doesn't feel hurt, even if he doesn't want to press charges, there's nothing any cop can do about it. It's written into the law.
I know, but I don't.
Normally we take people to jail, but he's trying to work it so you can just have the van. Tomorrow,
I don't want to be separated.
you gonna have anxiety?
Yeah, no, we're a team, please.
There's no, what is it?
No, like, we're a team, please. It's gonna give me so much anxiety. Can we just have like a driving ticket?
Okay, the very best thing I can do is call my supervisor and see if I'm missing something here.
Because if I'll pay any driving ticket, a parking ticket, anything.
Okay, Gabby,
If that'd be
Gabby,
better.
try to calm down, and I'm gonna go call a supervisor. But I don't think that there's much I can do, but let me see if the supervisor can tell me something I'm missing to make this not happen.
I can't feel over it, and I couldn't handle that. I'm sorry.
Just give me a minute, okay?
The primary officer then takes pictures of Laundrie's sustained injuries by Gabby as evidence.
Because there was an assault that took place and you were obviously showing signs of the strikes, do you mind if I take pictures of the injuries that you sustained? I know it's not super severe. I mean, you want me to call, I mean, I can call the EMS if you want me to. You don't seem like you want to go that far.
If you want to take a photo, you can take a photo.
Yeah, I need to take pictures for my evidence because otherwise it's going to be your say, her say, my say, and the court's going, so I have to do this part of it already. So it's just going to be a couple of pictures.
So you okay?
Yes. Like your phone, do you not know where it is?
Yeah,
without going for it, where is it?
just hang it.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me if you don't mind me grabbing it.
I can grab it because it's like, it's in a spot.
Why don't I go with you? Where are we going in the car?
Right face, neck. One of his ring fingers, I think, has got the scratch on it. And then you saw earlier.
Yeah, I saw the rings. Well, I was trying to build some consistency between stories. Oh, sure. And then let me see your hand, because that, yeah, let me get your hand.
That one? That right there?
We're going to keep that.
That works.
Could have been a pot, or could have been a...
I know you said this is from a wire, but I'm going to take a picture of it just in case, and I'll document that you're saying that's from a wire, not from her. It's just, I want to document everything, you know. And then your right arm. Do you have anything on the other arm, on your back, chest, anything like that? Let me get your neck real quick as well. You want to kind of tilt your head off to the right and look up?
This way?
And then look up.
There you go. I don't know where it is.
And then, this is just for precaution. Do you mind lifting your shirt for me? We can go back there if you want some privacy. I want to, like I said, I want to do a very thorough job. I want to make sure that you don't have any additional injuries you don't even know about.
I don't know how hot. I'm good.
You mind put your collar down for me a little bit? On the other side?
The secondary officer goes back to his cop shop to talk with his supervisor about the incident to see if they can mitigate the charge at all.
So, a tiny little girl, 22 years old, slapped her boyfriend, her fiance, several times. He's got a little bit of a little tiny abrasion on his chin, on his jaw. They got into a van and drove off. He got called in by there's one caller and then a witness. Got them stopped. The story from the witnesses matches the story from the female, matches the story to the male. She was pissed off, she's having a rough day, he tries to separate from her, she's not staying away from him, she has severe anxiety problems. He locks her out of the van, says you need to go for a walk and cool off. She's forcing her way into the van, she's clawing her way past him into the van to be with him. He's shoving her to get her out of the van, but he's not assaulting her, or he's not assailing her, he's trying to keep her out. She's punching, slapping, everything. She's got to be 105 pounds soaking wet, 22, full of anxiety, having a really tough time. Not making excuses, but I mean, it is written into code. We do have a domestic assault here. He's not wanting to pursue it. He's very adamant. He does not want to pursue it. We're explaining we don't have any discretion on these things. We're giving him a no contact. We're letting Seek Haven see if they can get him a hotel so she can have the van so that we don't have to put her in jail. She's really struggling with the idea of being alone and not with him and not having the van. They want to be together. I told her, look, there's not anything I can do. This is all written into freaking statute. I just said the last thing I can do is call a supervisor and see if where this is such a minor. There's like a slap fight, and the injury is from a fingernail. I just don't know if it's worth the whole domestic thing or not, or if it's going to get us in trouble if we don't do it this way. Well, they don't want to, but I told them that unless I get some kind of permission some other way, I'm pretty sure this is just statute and that we have to separate you. As far as the domestic assault charge, what do you think about that? Well, I mean, do the whole thing or not? But is there a way to not do anything on something like this? I mean, it's so minor. It's hard to say, right? I'm going to go reread the statute and just see if it fits or if there's a way it doesn't fit, and if I can find a way that, because it really is, this the spirit of the law is being lost on this one. It really is. So let me see what I can find, and if nothing else, then we'll have to separate him whether she likes it or not. Alright, thanks. Alright, bye. Thanks. Bye. Bodily injury means physical pain, illness, or any impairment of physical condition. So let's see. He's not ill. He doesn't have an impairment of physical condition. And if he's not in pain, like how far do you want to go with this? Like, you know why the domestic assault code is there. It's there to protect people, especially the reason why they don't give us discretion on these things is because too many times women who are at risk want to go back to their abuser. They just wanted him to stop, and they don't want to have to be separated. They don't want him charged. They don't want him to go to jail, and then they end up getting worse and worse treatment, and then they end up getting killed. Mm-hmm. In no way, shape, or form that I can perceive does what happened here, a little slap fight between fiancés who love each other, want to be together, can I perceive that this is going to digress into the situation where he's going to be a battered man?
Right.
But then again, I don't have a crystal ball. So I was looking at I talked to the assistant chief to see if there's any way to just go less than than the full force domestic assault route.
Right.
And he says, look, I mean, you either go all the way or you don't. And it's like, okay, but under what circumstances can I not? And really the only time I cannot is if it doesn't fit. If it fits, then it's in the law, then you have to do it. So I went and I looked at the code for assault, because this is an assault enhanced with domestic assault. Utah Code assault. Now you and I both know what it is, but think of how valuable it is to look it up and read it word for word, especially when what you're doing is going to get evaluated by a court who cares a lot about words. Words are there for a reason. Assault is an attempt with unlawful force or violence to do bodily injury to another. So did she attempt to do bodily injury to him?
She went to smack him.
Was it her intention to do him bodily injury? Now, that's what we have to find out, because it says bodily injury is, that by definition, physical pain, illness, or any impairment of physical condition.
Well, he's got a swollen right eye.
We don't care what the result was, we care about the intent.
So we gotta go find intent.
If she did not intend to cause him pain or illness, or to cause him impairment of physical condition.
Was it intent and attempt, or intent or attempt?
When you're attempting to do something, you have to intend to do it.
True.
If I attempt to get a basketball through a hoop, I have to intend to do it. Intent is implicit with attempt.
Right.
Okay, so what was her intent? What was her intention? If you go ask her, what was your intention when you were slapping him, and she says, I wanted him to hurt or be ill or impair his physical condition, then there's nothing we can do.
Okay.
One way to word it might be, hey, when you slapped him, were you intending to cause him physical pain, and let's get rid of illness because it has nothing to do with it, physical pain or impairment of his physical condition? Was that your intention? Is that what you were attempting to do? That's what it says right here, an attempt.
Right.
Were you attempting to cause him pain or an impairment of physical condition? Whatever she answers to that question will seal her fate. Because the only way you know what she was attempting to do is by asking her.
Right.
Gabby, this is a very, very important question. How you answer this question is going to determine what happens next. But the only person who can answer this question is you.
Okay.
Think very hard before you answer the question. Do not quickly answer it. Think very hard. When you slapped him those times, were you attempting to cause him physical pain or physical impairment? Was that what you were attempting to do to him?
No.
What were you attempting to do? What was the reason behind the slapping and stuff? What was it you were attempting to accomplish by slapping?
I was trying to get him to stop killing me and calm down.
Well, it doesn't sound to me like she attempted to injure him. It's your call. This is 100% your call. I support you either way.
The officers then have a discussion about whether or not to file this as a full-on domestic assault. The secondary officer leaves it in the primary's hands and drives away to another call.
This is what I'm going to do. I've decided I am not going to cite you for domestic violence battery, okay? It was only going to be a Class B misdemeanor. However, the domestic violence portion of it enhances it. Makes life a major pain in the butt, especially you're 22, right? So I'm choosing not to cite you today. So you are not going to be charged with anything. Alright? But this is what I do have to do. I am separating the two of you tonight. Okay? I want you guys both to be tonight away from each other, relax, breathe, crying, because there's no reason to be crying now, okay? This is... I understand that this can feel like it's a nightmare, but you're coming out as the golden flower on top of it, okay? So, you're going to be taking the van tonight, and you're going to go somewhere else. I am going to get him lined up for the hotel room tonight. I want you guys to stay away from each other. For both of you guys the same. From what you told me and what he told me, you guys have a bunch of little things that are building up, and finally the little string that you guys were tight walking on broke tonight. Does that sound about right? So, I just want everybody to breathe, get a chance away from each other, go eat a meal, talk to your parents, whatever it is you gotta do.
In here?
So, I've got him a hotel room tonight. So, here in just a minute, I have to keep you guys separated. For right now, don't contact each other or don't wave at him, okay? Do you want me to say anything to him? Because I can do that for you. You want me to let him know that you love him and that you'll see him tomorrow and stuff like that? I can do that
Make
for
sure
you.
that the free to phone charger is definitely good.
Oh, he's bad about that too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure that he has a phone charger, okay? And if I have anything else, please keep your cell phone on so I can call you if I have any questions, alright?
Okay.
Alright, so just kind of sit tight for me real fast and then we'll talk to Brian. Alright, Brian, a couple things. Couple things. One, I got your hotel room tonight.
Thank you. It's
Alright.
getting outside.
So,
I like the outside.
number two, and this is probably the biggest one. She claims that she did not have intent to hurt you when she was slapping at you. So technically speaking, it does not fit the letter of the code. So I am not going to be charging her with DV.
Domestic violence.
Exactly. So this is what I am going to do, however. I'm not going to release you guys together. I want you guys to stay away from each other tonight. Okay? She's agreed to it. Take some time to yourselves. You guys both have the exact same story as to what led up to the incident. So, taking some time tonight, specifically, taking tonight away from each other is going to be the major breaker in all of this. I think that'll help you guys, especially tomorrow when you guys meet up. So she does have a couple of messages for you. One, she said she loved you. She's looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Two, don't forget a cell phone charger.
Yeah, good. He watched me fumble around the entire 3 laps on the car, find no one.
Yeah, find one? Find one. Okay. The other thing is I don't want you guys to contact each other.
No,
okay, unless world
when he said that she gonna text me or whatever, I was gonna send her a message to say, please don't message me, but I love you. But yeah,
but tonight,
don't do anything. Yeah.
She's passing on her love and saying good night and stuff like that, all that interview stuff that I do to my wife too, okay? So
I appreciate it coming from
you. So just try to not contact each other unless, like I said, earth shattering, something happens, you guys have to jump in the car right now and drive back to Florida because something happened here. It's that kind of circumstance. There you go. Exactly. Other than that, just have a meal by yourself, catch your breath. You're going to be in a hotel room watching TV. It's probably going to be one since you actually got to sit down, relax, it's some air conditioning and watch TV. So take some time for your guys' selves. Yeah, take a shower, man. You got to change your clothes. You got some Tonys in there, right? All right, good. Because they're going to have everything that you need, shampoo, conditioner, all that good stuff. All right. Our main concern was make sure that you have self-recovery so you guys don't go on. Okay?
I really appreciate it.
So, I am going to walk her over here to the car. Okay? And if you'll just go stand over here in front of his pickup real quick, we'll get her out of here and I'll be right over here. Alrighty? You give her my key. Absolutely. Alrighty, Gabrielle, you want to step out for me? As you can see, I have keys in my hand, which is good, okay? So, something that I do, that I emphasize to him, and I don't know if I emphasize to you or not, don't text each other tonight. He wants to pass on the same message you passed to him. He's really looking forward to talking to you again, but I told him and you, unless there's earth-shattering emergency news, don't text tonight, okay? Even with the good nights, I love you. He's saying good night now. He's saying he loves you now, and you guys can talk tomorrow morning, okay? He's going to go to the hotel. I'm going to give you the keys to the van. I'm going to let you all have it. Alrighty? So, here's that. I'm giving him a ride over to the hotel, okay? So, everything's going to be okay.
Will it be a far drive for me to get him in the morning? I'm just curious.
I'm not going to tell you where he's going to be at tonight.
I know.
Like I said, I want you guys to be separated. But I can tell you this.
I just don't usually drive the van, so I just want to make sure it's not like far away.
No. It's
okay.
It's basically from here to Moonflower. Okay. It's not far at all. So let's get you in the van. Let's get you on your way. Alrighty. You want that Gatorade, by the way?
Okay.
You got enough water? Also, something I want you to know. Here, stand over here real fast for me. If you go over to City Market, they have a list of places where you can get yourself a shower for like $4 or $5, something like that. They're pretty cheap. A place where you can shower, decompress, de-stress a little bit. Alrighty?
Yeah, I just showered yesterday at one of those.
Well, you didn't have today happen yesterday, so it does my wife wonders. When she gets stressed out, it's like, get in the shower. Come on, just get in the shower.
Really relaxing.
Go take a shower, relax, take some time for yourself. And like I said, don't text each other tonight. Text each other tomorrow morning after your eyes open up and you're fully awake, had your coffee or your morning routine, okay? All right, you have a good night, okay?
Thank you.
Primary Officer has Laundrie hop into his cop shop, say his goodbyes to the officers on scene, walks away back to his car, and proceeds to drive Laundrie to the hotel set up for him by the DV shelter, during which time they powwow about personal life, the vacation, and such. He drops him off, and that was that.